Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at hookahanonymous_. Alright? We're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at hookahanonymous_. Alright, now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, I want to speak on D-Rose because I feel that a lot of people overlook D-Rose in his situation. We don't hear much about him neither, and what really gave me the idea of doing a video on him at first was a comment we received when we shared the interrogation video of TYMB Feifei, and someone said, quote, "He wasn't trying to get that D-Rose treatment and go to jail for something he didn't do." Now that made me think, because this isn't the first time I heard that, and as y'all know, D-Rose got a bunch of time, and it's rumored that he was wrongfully convicted due to a statement he was coerced by police at the time to make, allegedly, which kind of screwed him in the end, right? Now, if you sitting there saying things like, man, how can someone coerce you into making a statement or saying something that railroaded you into doing time? Just remember that although we're entertained by the drill culture, these dudes were literally teenagers when a lot of them got their reputation for doing some of the things that they did. Now, D-Rose was 17 at the time of being accused of the crime. Not to mention, there's grown adults that get railroaded to this day into saying things that they shouldn't be saying, or tricked into admitting things that the cops can use against them in the long run. And I think that's what happened in this case. However, his name has been involved in previous murders that cops couldn't pin him to, even though they had suspicion. They labeled him very dangerous and was even said to be involved in 3 murders in just a matter of 6 months. So when this opportunity came to actually get him off the streets, I think this is where they took advantage and slayed him for everything else they couldn't actually prove of him. But that's just my opinion. Now, shout out to Truth Teller TV, because Truth Teller had a phone interview with D-Rose, and he had some interesting words to say about guys screaming his name, but not doing anything to help his situation. I would include the audio, but due to copyright reasons, I'm just going to say what was said in the audio and then take it from there. Y'all can actually look on YouTube. The audio is there. But once again, like I said, due to copyright reasons, we can't risk it. We just said forget it. We're going to read what was said. Now, when Chief Keef's name was mentioned by Truth Teller, asking what was his relationship like with him and the guys that awfully mentioned D-Rose's name in songs, one of them being Love Sosa by Chief Keef, where he said, quote, "Don't make me call D-Rose, boy. He 600, boy. Any keep that pole, boy. You gonna get effed over." Right? I think we all remember that line. Now, D-Rose didn't badmouth the guys. However, he said enough to let you know where he stands when it comes to them, and I think he was pretty straightforward. If you read in between the lines, he's letting it be known that he feels nobody did enough in this case or helped him fight his situation. So when Truth Teller asked him what his relationship was like with the guys, off the back, D-Rose responded saying, quote, "I know my bond was only $100,000. I went to trial with no lawyer." So that should just sum it up that way. Now, once again, he ain't badmouthed them, but like he said, he had no lawyer at trial. Bond was only $100K. So how do you think he feel knowing that he has rich friends that could have came together to scrape something up for him? Or so he feels that, you know, that's something that they could have done. So you could tell he definitely feels some type of way behind that. Then he says, quote, "And I sat for $100,000 bond for over 3 years. The streets is a myth." Now, as far as that part, when they said the streets is a myth, it's just sad that unfortunately these guys got to go through the certain things that they go through before they realize that the streets are a myth. Here he is doing a whole bunch of time, I think 40 years, and now he's just now seeing that the streets is a myth. However, his life is pretty much, over with when it comes to doing all that time. Now, D-Rose just isn't an ordinary member. He's been around everybody from the beginning of the drill scene, from Chief Keef, Lil Durk, T-Roy, King Von, Fredo Santana, Lil Reese, Rondo No. 9, THF Bezu, Boss Hop, and a whole lot of others. Now, although he will be with the likes of all them guys, D-Rose, King Von, and T-Roy was like a triple threat together and known to complete any mission they was on, if you catch my drift. For y'all unfamiliar with D-Rose, D-Rose was given 40 years after he was convicted on September 15th, 2016 of first-degree murder for the shooting death of Vinzel Richardson back in 2014. Prosecutors say Richardson and his friends had just left a convenience store near 61st and King Drive on February 12, 2014 and were walking south in the 6100 block of South Vernon when a white minivan pulled up alongside them, according to prosecutors. They say D-Rose, who was a member of the Black Disciples, slid the driver's side passenger side door open and fired a handgun at the group multiple times. Vinzel Richardson, who lived in the 6400 block of South St. Lawrence, suffered 4 gunshot wounds, including one to the back of his head. He ran into a gangway but collapsed and was pronounced dead in that location at 8:25 p.m. Police says witnesses pointed D-Rose out in photos as a suspect in the shooting, and he was arrested 6 weeks after the shooting. D-Rose was also linked to the high-profile slaying of Joseph Coleman, aka Lil Jojo, but was later removed due to lack of evidence. Now, there was a Facebook account that claimed D-Rose was behind it, but the account holder later says that the account was hacked, therefore leaving no traces to D-Rose being an actual suspect. Now, D-Rose will later on try to appeal the case after receiving the 40 years, but he was denied, and I'm gonna read why he tried to appeal it and let y'all read between the lines and figure out as to why rumors started circulating that he's locked up for something that he didn't do. Now, back in 2016, just before D-Rose's trial, Rondo No. 9 and Courtney C.Day Ely were found guilty of first-degree murder for the slaying of a 29-year-old cab driver, Javin Boyd. Both received 40 years for their role each in that case as well. Now, the two were relevant in the police investigation of this offense because the day before, they and the defendant were stopped by the police in a van that witnesses identified as the same type of vehicle used in this drive-by shooting. I'll say that again. The two rappers were relevant to the police investigation of this offense because the day before, they and the defendant were stopped by the police in a van that witnesses identified as the same type of vehicle used in this drive-by shooting. Now, y'all put 2 and 2 together. That's all I'm gonna say. And I know some people say that D-Rose is nuts for staying quiet on certain things, but let me tell y'all one thing. Lord knows that if he didn't stay quiet, he'll be labeled as everything under the sun. Rat, snitch, this, that, right? Which is why I tell y'all, damn if you do and damn if you don't. That's the world we living in, so live for you and nobody else's opinion before you end up in a real life Dave Chappelle skit of when keeping it real goes wrong. And here's why I say that, because at the end of the day, right now, D-Rose was to tell everything he knows, right? Let's say hypothetically, and we're gonna say hypothetically, let's say hypothetically he didn't do it, allegedly. And he knows exactly who did what and what's going on. Honestly, that would hurt more to know that the guys isn't, doing what they're supposed to be doing, knowing I'm in a situation that I'm not supposed to be in, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Now I can see why he might feel how he feel. But anyway, let's say hypothetically he didn't do anything and he's being charged for this and he decides to say something. People are going to call him a rat, but if he don't say anything, people are going to call him stupid for sitting in jail for something he didn't do. So, damn if you do, damn if you don't. But anyway, back to how D-Rose feels about Chief Keef and Lil Durk. All right, he didn't say much, but he said enough. Before King Von passed away, he did respond to someone's comment about D-Rose, but he stated that he was paying down on D-Rose's lawyer as well. Now, the only thing I want to know is, when he said his bond was $100K, did he mean his bail was $100K with a $10K bond? Because he did say it was only $100K. I would like to say that I know he may think $100K is nothing because a lot of these rappers make it seem like they really paid, but a lot of these guys don't really have $100K to just throw around as much as we may think they do, or they act like they do. Also take into consideration, when all of this transpired, Durk wasn't who Durk is now. And I could say maybe Chief Keef, but once again, we don't know what these guys' finances were truly like. You know, lawyer fees and bails and bonds, they are very expensive. Trust me. You know, now could these guys could have went 50K each? Well, maybe. But once again, if they just had to pay 10% of the 100K, which would just be 10K, then yeah, that's crazy. And he may feel like, well, y'all know the circumstance as to why I'm here and y'all ain't trying to get me out. I feel away, you know, but who knows? I just feel this is a topic that gets overlooked. I don't hear much people speaking about it. I know someone close to D-Rose just called out some of the guys today as well. And this seems to be a thing that's, you know, coming up again. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are feeling away because once again, there's a rumor floating around that he is actually innocent. You know, that he's being charged with something that he had nothing, not saying that he didn't have anything to do with it, but he just isn't the guy they looking for. Let's just sum it up and say that. All right. So anyway, y'all jump in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.